When Dame Helen Mirren speaks, the world listens not because she chases headlines, but because she commands respect. So, when the Oscar-winning legend recently spoke out, not in a dramatic exposé but with a calm and composed tone, the silence that followed was deafening. Her subtle yet razor-sharp comments about Meghan Markle's new, as ever, brand didn't just raise eyebrows, they ripped the curtain down. And behind it? A carefully manicured illusion, one that's finally beginning to unravel. Meghan, who built her post-royal identity on image, influence, and performative empathy, is now reportedly in panic mode. Because the woman who once claimed to be the voice of authenticity has been called out by someone who actually embodies it. The As Ever brand, which seemingly sold out in a flash, was meant to be Meghan Markle's graceful entry back into public favor, minimalist kitchen items wrapped in maximum PR. But Helen Mirren, in an unexpected turn during an industry roundtable, questioned not just the overnight success of the brand, but the manipulative tactics used to drive that success. She didn't need to name Meghan outright. Her reference to modern-day celebrities who commodify every ounce of their personal life to inflate numbers and manipulate markets was a velvet-wrapped grenade. And insiders confirm she was absolutely referring to Meghan and As Ever. This isn't just celebrity shade, it's a credible exposure of how Meghan's brand may have staged its viral popularity. Behind the massive sold-out signs are allegations of deliberate scarcity marketing, bulk purchases by internal teams, and a heavy reliance on curated influencer hype. One retail analyst from a prominent U.S. distribution network told us there's no indication of genuine consumer demand. It looks manufactured. You don't sell out overnight without any organic buildup unless it's strategic manipulation. And while Meghan's defenders scream misogyny, racism, or royal envy, the reality is this: public fatigue has less to do with her gender or race and more to do with her constant need for the spotlight under the guise of authenticity. Helen Mirren's credibility, earned through decades of professional integrity, makes her comments impossible to dismiss. She doesn't chase scandal. So when she speaks, the lines between performance and truth become blindingly clear. Meghan's reaction behind the scenes has reportedly been explosive. Sources close to the Duchess say she's furious and desperately scrambling to control the damage. Damage that isn't just PR-based but potentially legal. There are whispers in the branding world that several small design contributors to As Ever were silenced with airtight NDAs after reportedly not being properly credited or compensated. One anonymous contributor told a UK outlet, "We thought this was about supporting female creatives. Turns out it was about making Meghan look like a solo genius." It's a pattern now familiar to those observing her rise and fall: burnish the brand, control the story, and silence the dissent. But Helen Mirren cannot be silenced. She doesn't play by Hollywood's new rules, and more importantly, she doesn't need Meghan Markle to stay relevant. That's what makes her critique so dangerous. It's not coming from a place of gossip, but principle. Even former royal insiders have joined the conversation, noting that the Duchess' pattern of monetizing royal proximity continues unchecked. She doesn't want the institution, one former palace aide remarked, but she wants every door that comes with it. From Netflix deals with staged documentaries to Spotify flops disguised as feminist platforms, the Duchess' post-palace career increasingly looks like a masterclass in empty branding. The As Ever saga might just be the tipping point. Meghan's PR machine is reportedly now on overdrive, attempting to steer public attention toward humanitarian angles and curated soundbites. But the damage might already be done. Helen Mirren has inadvertently given voice to what millions have suspected for years, that behind Meghan Markle's brand is less sincerity and more strategy, less innovation and more imitation. And in an age where the public is becoming immune to polished facades, authenticity isn't just preferred, it's demanded. The truth is, Meghan Markle had a real opportunity to be a different kind of celebrity. But instead of letting her work speak for itself, she chose to control every narrative, sculpt every perception, and silence every critic. Unfortunately for her, Helen Mirren isn't one to be silenced, and now that the cracks are showing, no amount of sold-out labels or smiling Instagram posts can plaster over the truth. In the end, the public isn't as naive as Meghan's team seems to think. They see the pattern. They've read between the lines. And thanks to voices like Helen Mirren's, they're beginning to speak up. Because as ever, the truth finds a way out. And now that the veil has lifted, even Meghan's most calculated moves are being met with skepticism. The once loyal media outlets that fawned over her every appearance are quietly stepping back. The influencers who were gifted curated As Ever packages have gone noticeably silent. Why? Because aligning with a collapsing narrative comes at a cost. Even Hollywood knows when a brand has peaked, and Meghan's image, so heavily curated and controlled, is no longer the symbol of empowerment it once pretended to be. Behind palace walls, there's a certain vindication. Those who warned that Meghan would weaponize her royal association for personal gain are watching the spectacle unfold exactly as they predicted. And while she claims victimhood, the evidence mounts of a woman who isn't just misunderstood but willfully misleading. From half-truths in interviews to exaggerated tales of struggle, Meghan has built an empire of illusion. But now one seasoned actress who earned her name through grit, not gossip, has called her bluff. The public has reached its breaking point. The masks are falling. And as Meghan scrambles to regain control of the narrative, she's learning a hard truth. When authenticity is sacrificed for attention, the spotlight doesn't illuminate, it burns.